Just to make it an interactive session, I would like to know from you where you are joining from. So just in the chat box, just tell us where you are joining from. I'm actually joining from Kanda. What about you? Just put it in the chat box for us. Where are you joining us from tonight? So those joining us on YouTube can also just comment from wherever they are joining us from: Kumasi, Tamale, Damongo, Iraq, Iran. Interesting. I'm seeing people joining from Takrade, from Teshi, from Cantonments, Tema Committee 22. On YouTube, we see people joining from Kaswa, United States of Kaswa, Asin Fosu Central Region. Nice to meet you all. Joining from Airport Residential Area. Commander, that's great. That's great. North Kaneshi, Swan Lake, East Legon, among others. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for making the time to join us. Whether you are joining directly on Teams or streaming from YouTube channel, we really appreciate you being here with us tonight. Nelson, we see you from Takrade. Great stuff. Great stuff. Now, the reason for tonight's session is very simple. Over the past few years, since the launch of the Black Star app, our community has grown significantly. Today, we have in excess of about 50,000 downloads and active users. And with that growth, as expected, comes a lot of feedback, questions, and genuine curiosity about how we operate. Some of you have asked questions about a few things regarding Central Securities Depository. Some have requested for education. Direct communication from us has also been some of the feedback that we've received from you. Others wanted clarity around certain aspects of how we operate and then also our platform. Tonight is the night for the addressing of some of these concerns of yours. All these grievances will be addressed tonight. So tonight is really about opening the door for such conversations, hearing from you, and then also addressing some of these challenges. We want to share more about who we are, what we do, the opportunities we are creating for clients, our business model, and then also the innovative solutions that we are rolling out for you, our clients and audience tonight. But even more importantly, we want to listen to you and address your concerns directly. It's also another opportunity for you to see the faces behind the whole Black Star group so that you know that you are interacting with human faces or human beings and not just robots. Before we start, a few housekeeping rules, just a few of them. First, please keep your microphones muted during the presentation to avoid any background noise. We also encourage everybody to drop their questions in the chat box, even as the presentation goes on. We will try as much as we can to answer every single question, whether on YouTube or in the Teams portal or page. Third, let's keep our conversations, our questions really respectful and constructive. The goal tonight is to learn, clarify issues, and then also build a healthy, stronger community together. And finally, if your friends or colleagues are interested in investing or learning about the market, please feel free to share the link. Share the link, share the link. So whether you want them to join on YouTube or probably want them to join the live feed from Teams, please, you can share the link with them so that they can also benefit from this session. Later on in this conversation, we will open the floor for a live Q&A where you would have the opportunity to ask questions as well and have your concerns addressed directly. So please feel free to start dropping your questions in the chat as we proceed. Now, introducing our speaker, joining me tonight are two people who play a very key role in shaping the Black Star story. First is our group CEO, Mr. Eric Appiah, who will begin tonight's session with a brief presentation. He will walk us through the Black Star story, our vision, what we do as a group, the solutions we provide to investors, and some of the innovative tools we are building to make investing more accessible through the Black Star community. We would also be joined later on in the session by our Head of Technology and Innovations, who is here with us, in the person of Salom Walker. He would also attempt to address any technical questions or platform-related concerns that some of you may have experienced while using our app. With that said, let us begin. I would now like to invite Mr. Appiah to take us through the Blackstar story and the opportunities we are building for investors. Like I mentioned, whilst he's going on with the presentation, you could be putting your questions in the chat box. If you are one that's also confident enough to wait so that when he's done, you put up your hand in order for you to directly ask your questions, that would also be allowed in the course of this session. It's going to be brief, but we are going to answer all your questions because we know tonight is Chelsea versus PSG and Real Madrid versus Man City. We know how you guys love your football, and so we are not going to keep here forever. So, Mr. Appiah, the floor is yours now.
Thank you very much, Ernest. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Blackstar Group, the board, the management team, just want to welcome you all to this call. As Ernest rightly put it, as a company, we've been around for quite a bit of time, and you'll see as we present the slides. And over the last few years, we've worked hard to sort of increase our retail footprint. And I think as that retail footprint has grown, it's only incumbent on us to make sure that people know and understand the work that we've been doing over the years. And so I'll take you through a brief presentation, and at the end we would go into a Q&A. So just make sure everybody can see my screen. And can hear me. Okay. Our legal team would allow me to start this without doing the usual disclaimer. Again, there are views that we will give, there will be things that we will say, but that doesn't amount to advice. We always recommend that you speak to a qualified investment advisor for any decision you make. We ourselves can help you, but there are lots of brokers and fund managers and well-qualified people who can help you do that. So without prejudice, I want to start the conversation about who we are. As a firm, we have a certain DNA, and I think it's important for our clients to really understand what it is we stand for and what it is we've tried to do over the last few years. So we're a diverse group of individuals which cuts across asset management, investment banking, and advisory. And we have a wealth of experience right across the financial spectrum as a team. So as a full service investment bank, we've had 18 years of experience. So the company was founded in 2008. So we've been around for 18 years. So we're much older than a lot of people think. Again, as I said, our retail footprint just began around the last few years. And so most people do not recognize the fact that we've been around much longer. So we've been around for 18 years. We have a staff strength of about 35. Combined team experience of obviously several years, 200 as you'll see, a fairly strong capital position, which is really important for the work that we do in terms of making sure that we adhere to all the capital requirements as per our regulations. And that's really important to us and the board for several reasons. We believe we run the #1 cross-asset platform and are the #1 technology partner. So there are many of you who wouldn't even know, but we actually manage your money in various ways which you haven't realized. But hopefully that would all be unveiled today. So just to introduce you to the team, and I just didn't want to glance over this slide. We have a team that is full of amazing talent, and I think I'm going to go through the pain of having to explain to you what each person does and how important they are to the work that we do. I have Nana Ajeopoku-Agyemang, who has been a stalwart and a strong pillar for the brokerage business. And a lot of the work that we've done over the years in the brokerage business is attributed to his leadership and the work that he's done. He comes with several years experience from Cal Bank and Cal Brokers, where he led his team to several achievements and has continued to do that with us. And we can really credit him for the work that he's done in making sure that the Blackstar brokerage business has done well and is a top broker in the market. We have Patricia, who is essentially our Michael Essien. She's our midfield commander. She made sure that our whole group is coordinated between asset management, advisory, investment banking, research, board level. So she's really a linchpin in the whole business that we run. If you don't know AJ, then I think you really have to make time to get to know him. He is one of the most amazing people you would meet. Super passionate. I don't think you could be more passionate about finances and investing than him, and has done an incredible job in the asset managed business and opening, eyes to, global investments, etc., and done an excellent job. George is a super treasurer who's been around for several years, very experienced ex-banker, has worked with us for several years now. Him and Nana have done a tremendous job managing our institutional investors and making sure that, we've delivered and, in terms of pricing, best execution, service, and he's done an amazing job at that. Selon, who you'll hear from later on, is also one of our key members of staff. He's been responsible for leading our technology efforts, and a lot of the work that you see with regards to our systems processes has been led by him. Ray, we call Ray. Ray has been around much shorter, but Ray joined us just more recently to cover our advisory and research business. He comes with us with great experience from Goldman for 4 years where he worked. And so we're happy to have such a great talent on the team. He spent quite a bit of time covering various companies in the US, etc. And we hope to benefit from that experience. Ernest, who spoke as a magnificent person, clearly top brass when it comes to sales, business development, really engages our clients, really works hard to deliver. Emmanuel Sean, for all the portfolios you see around in our mutual funds, he and Mr. Denku work very hard to make sure that we're meeting all our regulatory requirements, asset allocations, making sure that money is invested consistently across all portfolios, so that your monies are not sitting there idle and not earning cash. Magnificent trader, Mr. Merck, will go heaven and earth to find you a bond, whichever bond you want, wherever you want it, whether you want it locally, internationally, globally. He's the guy for you. We have Sandra, who works very closely with Ernest in making sure our clients, again, really served well. Ernestina is probably the reason why we're having this call. She's the linchpin of our app services and provides an amazing service to our clients. So every trade that goes through the app, she works on and it helps to execute that. Sharon is the infamous Shaz, who I'm sure thousands of you have spoken to, and is a core member of our client experience team. Ceci is a super junior portfolio analyst, amazing learner, hardworking, and is responsible for one of our key funds that we have, which is the Delta Fund. Adelaide runs our operations on the global market side, making sure that trades are settled accordingly. She works with Bernard, who has, again, a great talent, ex-Cal banker, who has great experience in operations to make sure that, again, we're meeting all our regulatory requirements and making sure that trades are settled properly. David joins us from a management consulting background and works in our research department. So a lot of the research you're seeing that's coming out recently has been driven by David. We have Daniel, who's an equity execution trader. Again, works very close with Merck, does a great job in trying to find the best deals. Isaac is probably one of those chameleons. He runs portfolios, does operations, and does a myriad of things, and is pretty much responsible with it. There's two Isaacs, actually, and we couldn't put everybody's picture there, who effectively are making this happen. Priska is a diamond in the operations department, making sure, again, your balances at the end of the day are zero, making sure that everything matches. Amanda is our client service experience person. Martina as well. Sunkari is also one of our analysts on the advisory side, and his favorite pastime is doing multivariate models and ANOVA analysis of inflation versus currency. So if you're into those type of things, then he's the guy to speak to. Justice, again, works in our asset management team and does an amazing job with Isaac on that. We also have Bless, who is also on our tech side, and Salamakoto. There are clearly 35 people I couldn't mention all, but I thought this was very important for you to know and understand the type of quality of people that we have here as a firm, and we strive to attract the best talent within the industry to make sure we can serve our clients in a holistic way. Probably the next most important thing that we do and make sure that we adhere to is making sure that we are in good standing with all our regulators and associations. Our apex regulator, which is the SEC, we're in good standing. You can go to the website and check. We also, because of the work that we do in terms of purchasing securities, trading, licensing, advisory, are also regulated by the stock exchange, and we have oversight from the Central Securities Depository, which is something we'll come to later, GIFIM. And again, as I said, as a group, we do have a mandate to manage pensions as well as mutual funds and wealth management, all of that. And for the pension side, clearly, we are approved by the NPRA to be a pension fund manager. We adhere to all the Data Protection Commission protocols and directives that are required for keeping clients' data safe, and we do have quite a bit of that. And clients' information and security is really important to us. And then for the key associations that we're with, which is ACI and GSIA, we're massive contributors to that. Probably one of the ones we left off is the CFA, which I think is a growing association that I think a lot of people who are interested in finance should be a part of. So we'll go to who our partnerships and channels are. And as I said, for many people who have joined us on the retail side, you may not have even come into contact with us, but we have been behind a lot of transactions that have happened. We have strong relationship with banks, fund managers, NBFIs, insurance companies, savings and loans, corporates, associations, and international partners. That's how we're able to deliver the service that we do from both a global perspective and also a local one. Our research is posted on Bloomberg, LSG, S&P, C-Bonds, and we do have some, quite impressive impressions. A lot of our research is read by quant funds. They are interested in the type of data, and that gives them data-driven decisions in terms of how they make trading decisions on Ghana. And we partnered with quite a few of them. There's another special group of people that we work with. Achieve is one of our biggest partners. So for most people who are on the Achieve app, some of the products there are products that we manage. And we've had a great relationship that goes back several years, and we can hope to continue to deliver for the subscribers to the Achieve app. It's an amazing app, and it has several features which I think makes sense for a lot of investors who are looking to get into the market. There are other fintech partners that we're working with, which include Ladder, Chipper, and Fundit, who will be coming to market soon. And each of them has a very unique way in which they help people understand investing. As a company, we've never shied away from partnering with people, as you can clearly see. The whole ethos of the app and what we created was to make sure we created a marketplace that allowed people to be able to come in and out of investments. So that really sums up, I guess, what's the core of what we do. Well, the core of who we are. But now, what do we really do? Because I'm sure for a lot of you hear Black Star, and it's we've been called Black Stars, which is not really the name of the company. We have no association with the team, although we think they're great. But we really need to get into the nitty-gritty of what we do. So we see it very simply. We see it as a way of providing what matters to our clients in a very simple way. We don't try to complicate things. We just try and make them easy for our clients. Hence the reason why we created an app and the way we operate. For most people who know us, we tend to think that we try to simplify lots of things for clients. So what do? We provide a seamless way for our investors to raise capital as a business, as an investment bank. We provide a seamless way for them to buy and sell securities. We also create a way for them to invest, and then we create a way for them to get insights. These are some of the core things that investment revolves around, and we provide these to our clients in various ways. There's a last piece which we put together, which is a combination of all the things that we do above. Now, when it comes to raising capital, in terms of our track record, in terms of debt under advisory, we've had about 2.1 billion Ghana cedis of debt under advisory. That includes some of our clients who speak to us about, potential hedging, forwards, etc., in terms of what they're trying to do. Cross-currency asset swaps, we help them price those. These are for both international and local clients. In terms of corporate bond programs, we have been instrumental in helping list some bond programs, which have culminated in a value of about 2.5 billion. In terms of equity listed, I think we've done the last two listings by introductions on the market, which is Asante Gold and Atlantic Lithium. And then in terms of corporate debt raised, we've raised about 800 million over the years. We intend to do more in the future. And in terms of structured transactions, we've done about 1.4, which includes some of these transactions around cross-asset swaps, cross-currency asset swaps, forwards, futures, not futures, but forwards, etc. In terms of how we help our clients buy and sell, the core part of that business is brokerage, which again, as I mentioned, Mr. Nanaje is responsible for and has done a tremendous amount of work. Some of the numbers do not actually seem real, but they are real. So over the years, that part of the business has grown remarkably, and we've delivered best execution and pricing to our clients over the years. We have a wide, client base and coverage. We've been a leading broker in a number of trades, and that's because, as a team, we go heaven and earth for our clients. We drive around the country, north to south, east to west, just to try and find, things that our clients need. Hence the reason why when I showed the team, I did mention where you're effectively a client services team, because we all see ourselves as a client service managers. Now, in terms of total volume traded, we have about 20 billion that we've traded in predominantly fixed income. And in terms of treasury bills traded, we've done 38 billion over the years. This includes work that we did as a primary dealer and a bond market specialist over the years as we've helped government raise funding. It's a big number, but unfortunately, you don't get paid for primary dealing work. And so, yes, we haven't made as much money, but it's clearly very rewarding work that you do when you have the privilege to work for your country in terms of the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana, in terms of raising capital that allows them to meet the goals and needs of what people, salaries, etc. It's exhilarating, and we're thankful for the role that we had in doing that. For our clients, we continue to help them and take them to market to get their T-bills done. We'll continue to do that work. Nothing has changed for us. In terms of repo trades, where we help companies and allow them to provide liquidity to each other and vice versa, we've done about 3 billion of trades in those. And our average trading volume on the GIFM is about 30 million. And for FX volumes, not as much as we want, but we've done quite a bit. And again, as I said, we don't have an FX brokerage license now, but that license was for interbank dealing. But that doesn't stop us speaking to our clients and advising them in terms of how they manage their FX, etc. It's a revolving door where every year you apply, and we'll look to apply again in the next year. But we're very thankful for the work that we've done for the government of Ghana and the time that we did it. We're very proud, and for the new group of people who have had the chance to do that work, we're very happy, and we'll fully support them in any information that they need or anything that they want from us. But we'll continue to serve our clients and make sure that all their needs are met effectively. The next thing we do is help our clients invest, and we help them do that across multiple channels. So over the last few years, we've developed a series of mutual funds, which we thought have been key to how we see the investment world. So we have currently around 900 million under management and about 1.5 billion under advisory, which is essentially pension funds. We have 5 mutual funds, which are some of the top performing in the country. And then we have specific mandates around structured transactions that we do for and on behalf of people. We generally like to keep our fees low because we understand the impact of fees on portfolio management and strategies for people and their ability to make money. And so we generally tend to do that. And lastly, well, it's not lastly, but it's one of the core things that puts our business or gives us the level of visibility or the comfort when we generally talk about, you know, even international investments. The team that works on this is really amazing. As I said, we have reports that are read globally, from Japan all the way to US and Europe. We provide other types of reports which are not necessarily public, which looks very deeply at, you know, market data, gives us insights into essentially where we think the market is going to go, projecting where government's expenditure will be for the next 10 years, how debt profiles will grow, and that type of data is data that is proprietary and we keep and we use for our analysis internally. That helps us in terms of how we run and manage our portfolios, gives us views of, you know, what we expect. I think even things around where our population growth will be estimated to be around 57 million around 2050, what that means for, you know, housing, all of those type of things. So that's work that we like to do and we enjoy, and gives us deeper insights into where we should put money for our clients in the future. As I mentioned, for I think the last 5 or 6 years, we've run a monthly market color where it's open to the public. We've shared our best ideas. We've helped educate the market. We generally talk about, give a highlight about what has happened in the market over the last month. And then we go into some core subjects around things that may be of interest, which include cryptocurrencies. We've done US tech, we've done China, we've done commodities, and there's a whole host of other things that we've done. So please feel free to join those type of meetings. We do them, NS will give the details. I think we do them every Tuesday, every third week, yes, of the month. So that's our insights team. One of the things that, and again, we tend to be nerdy sometimes. So we have probably one of the most comprehensive array of indices, which are really important for judging performance when it comes to portfolios. We built ones for Euro bonds, for local bonds, and gives us real insights into how securities are performing, etc. And some of those are available for people who want to. We spent a lot of time and energy making them available, some of that information available on the website for people who are interested in it. Now we come to probably one of the most important reasons why we started our retail business. And probably around 5 years ago, we went for a retreat, and the thinking was, well, what do we do for that particular year? And Nana, AJ, Salom, Ernest, with the whole team around, we just decided to put down the real problems that our clients face, because we just want to be in the business of solving client problems. And hopefully if you do that, you get rewarded for it. And when we finished that exercise, there was something that was very clear to us that we needed to do. And that's essentially to empower all our clients and stakeholders in the communities to own their financial futures. There was a real sense that over the years, most people have not owned their financial futures. So what would typically happen is that you would buy some stocks, you would leave them there. There wouldn't be any sort of looking after them. There was no real there was no real advice. There was no sort of coverage in terms of what was going on, etc. And so we set out on a path to solve those pains through technology, because there weren't many ways as a small company you could do that. And so as we went through that exercise, there was also one thing that was clear, that if we did educate our clients, there's a good chance you would be redundant because your clients wouldn't need you. But we also felt very strongly that that was secondary. What we needed to make sure was that every man, woman, and child in Ghana had the opportunity to understand investments. If you've spent any time with AJ, he can elaborate even deeper in some of these issues. the power and the ability for understanding investments to change people's lives is more powerful than most people think. Most people leave, or some people leave property, other people leave financial assets. And we've seen in places like Europe and in the US, people are bequeathed, estates that are full of, some of the most amazing stocks in the world. And that transforms their lives. And we believe the same can be done in Ghana. So what was it really that drove us to do the app? And this was pretty much the slide that we came up with. People wanted flexibility and able to make payments. They wanted financial education. They had scattered investments. There was no life security pricing, no multiple asset tracking, multiple statements. So you had an IPO in one company, you would go to that company, you would register with them. You have your T-bills with your 3 banks if you had bank accounts. Then you would go to your fund manager who has your money market securities. There's another fund manager who has your equities somewhere else. And you never saw or understood what your value was or is at any particular point in time. It took you having to bring together paper and sit in a room, and there was no valuation. You couldn't really understand what your net worth is. And so we took that and we said, look, how are we going to solve this? And the way you solve this, or the methodology we came up with, is a methodology that's globally known. And so you put all your assets in one place, and you're able to monitor all of them, as opposed to having them scattered around. You then have, so people approached us with spreadsheets and say, oh, well, I have a spreadsheet, but I can't execute. And then there were people with pieces of paper. Some people had, apps, but then you had to download 5 or 6 apps to be able to do the same thing. So if you had your investments in 5 places, you would need to get, some people had apps, some people didn't. And that was really difficult for people. And so we decided 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, actually 6, it was around COVID, to embark on that journey. And that's what's landed us here today. And that's what's culminated in what we called the Black Star app. So how have we done it? We've really tried to, within the app, create a personalized solution for each client. And we really mean that when we say it's a personalized solution. For most apps that you look at, it's usually one asset class. So you just have equities. Or you don't even really see many apps that have bonds. So even if you look at a lot of the international apps, unless maybe you're on IBKR or some of the other ones, you would typically see that people buy bond ETFs, etc., to get that exposure. But Ghana was unique in the sense that it has, the ability for people to buy treasury bills directly, mutual funds, and also equities. And you needed a way to put all of that together to give people the sense of their net worth. And so we put that into what we called the ability to track it all. And so what we then did was, as part of that, went through a process of also then creating different types of, we went through a process of creating different types of investments. Now, sorry, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Yeah. Apologies for that. Maybe I'll get it right this time. Okay, I'll just let it play. So we created 6 unique funds because when we assess most clients, and AJ is brilliant at this, when you look at people's lives, there's a beginning, middle, and an end. Children come along. So we created 5 funds that had very specific things. So typically a mutual fund will have maybe a lot of things mixed in there, but we decided to have very pure funds that allowed investors to then pick. So we created a website. So if you go to our website right now, for all the funds that we have gone through great pain and detail to tell you what's in them. Transparency was also key for us. So if you look at all our mutual funds, they're online. You can see exactly what we hold. You can see how much cash we have. And that feeds life from our system. It's not very usual, but in terms of how we operate, we always believe that transparency is really important. And so that information is available for every investor or non-investor who wants to look at the funds and see exactly what is in it and how we manage the funds. over the years. So it tracks performance, all of those types of things. And this was all part of, as I said, the why, which was helping empower all our clients to be able to take control of their financial future. Once we did that, that created a base for us to be able to help clients then create goal-based investing, which meant that you could pick and choose what you wanted to do. So for example, if you had a bill to pay in 6 months, you didn't want that much volatility, you would do the fixed income alpha plus, which is essentially a money market fund. If you had school fees to pay, you would probably pick the fixed income alpha plus something else. And then we put all of those things on the app, as you can see. And then we also give the ability to buy Ghana stocks as well as the global ones. Again, as a company, we've done just as much as any other broker to improve and grow the local market, as you've seen from the transactions that we've done. So I implore you to visit the website. As you can see, we've gone through great lengths to make sure it's very active, has pricing information. And if there are ways you think that we can improve it, we'll be more than happy to listen and hear you on how we can improve and do better on those type of things. So that's really how we have come to that point. So as I said, we built a cross-asset platform to solve the many problems that we solve. So currently within the app, you have multiple deposit channels, i.e. you can pay by Momo, card, or bank. We have automated execution, and so you didn't have to wait and go and fill in forms to actually execute your transactions. Live security pricing, so you knew what the value of your assets were at any time. Multiple asset tracking, in that you have equities, bonds, ETFs, all of those things in one single portfolio. We have in-app contract notes and statements. One of the biggest things that most people ask for is statements. All of that is available in your app in a few clicks. One of the things we're looking at improving over the next few months is to send you your holdings at the end of the month, whether you've asked for it or not, for your records, for safekeeping. 24-hour withdrawals, although those are limited, because some of our clients did say to us that, sometimes over the weekend they need money and didn't want to have to wait till Monday or wait a few days. And so we worked very hard with some of our fintech partners to be able to, or PSPs, I should say, to make sure that we could deliver 24-hour withdrawals from some of the funds that we have. It doesn't apply to all the funds, but it is possible. Once you have cash within our ecosystem, you should be able to withdraw it. For investments, yes, that takes a couple of days. So on the weekend, you wouldn't be able to divest from an investment. But we're working on something with our accountants to see if that's possible for one or two of the funds. Again, there was another thing around the ability to consistently reinvest money that came either through dividends or interest payments. And so, again, the idea of having one account made sure that when your dividend was paid or your coupon was paid from a bond investment, it sits in that account and you're able to then do whatever you want with it. What hitherto would have happened was you get paid out into your bank account and then you pay transfer charges to bring it back. And that was very costly for some people. And so some people did like the idea of having one account. And again, 24-hour customer service, data encryption, biometric, market information, and reoccurring investment plans. Those were the things that were pain points for our clients. And over the last 5 years, we've built one app to solve them. It's not perfect, but we're working on it each and every day. And so for many of you, some of the complaints have been that we update too much, but that's because it's quite a sophisticated system. And each time we make a change, we have to do an update. Some of it is on security, some of it is improving user experience. And we haven't been as great on teaching people how to use it. That's because we've been buried head deep in making sure that it works well. And over the next few months, we'll see more videos and explainers on how exactly to maximize the use of that. I have to say, one of the things that really warms our hearts within the firm is how it's really transformed people. So we have churches who have various accounts, so they're able to create portfolios and see for different projects. We have parents who are teaching their kids to invest by having a portfolio where the kid decides to make investment decisions. We have investment clubs who have goals like 30 December. Some of them have needs and want to buy cars and homes. And the way the app is designed, you can have those goals within the app, tracking exactly what you want, and you would have bought the securities that you need in order to do that. We've had people who have collected contributions by creating separate portfolios within the app that allows them to segregate their investments from other third-party things that they're doing. So some of the stories we hear are really heartwarming, and we hope to improve that experience even further as we go along. I know I've been talking for a while, but I'll be done soon. So what is available in the app? One of the things we also realize is that the typical size for a transaction for a retail investor is very small, usually 100 CDs. But some of the stocks are around 20 CDs, and some are maybe even 15 CDs. So that doesn't allow a person with a small amount of money like that to diversify. And so having the omnibus structure or the custodial structure that we have allows us to create fractional shares. And so you're able to buy, let's say, 1 CD of MTN when the stock price is 5. But that also means that somebody who doesn't have as much money as somebody else can also partake and own a piece of MTN. And that's what the advantage of having those custodial accounts mean. We have about 4,000 securities that you can trade on the app. We cover 25 plus global markets and exchanges, and we have about 19 execution partners locally and globally, and 8 global custodial relationships. There are features in the app which we haven't activated yet, but the ability to repo your assets. And so, for example, if you had a treasury bill but needed to cover a payment within a short period of time where you're expecting another payment, it is possible to repo your bond, i.e., we would work with our banking partners to take your bond, give you cash, and when you return it, you get your bond back, all without losing any money or any additional transaction costs. So those are some of the things that we've been working over the years to make sure that we're able to deliver for clients within the app. So what I'll do now is hand over to my colleague, Selom. And again, I have the full team here. I have Nana, I have Ernest, I have other people who can easily answer any of the questions for you. And so what we decided to do was to go through top 10 most frequently asked questions, so that if there are any questions outside of those, then it makes it easier for everybody. Perhaps one thing I haven't maybe mentioned is how we protect clients' investments. Now, no broker, no fund manager ever holds clients' assets in their accounts or on their balance sheets. Every client's asset is held with a custodial bank, which is regulated by Bank of Ghana and overseen by the SEC. So we hear often people say, well, my assets are in my broker's CSD. That's not the case. All your client assets are held in custodial banks, and that's across mutual funds, unit trusts, etc. So that no broker holds clients' assets. And so the typical question is, well, what happens to a broker if that happens? There's a well laid out plan, and the SEC and Bank of Ghana should get a lot of credit for this. Following the financial sector cleanup and the issues we had in the fund management industry, a lot of work has gone on to clean up the industry. And then we all follow strict guidelines of how we hold investors' assets, how we report on them. We report on a quarterly basis to the SEC what clients' holdings are, etc., across all our investments, mutual funds, everything that we do. Clients' assets are either held in the CSD or they're held in our, in client trust accounts, which are held with banking custodians. They're never held on the broker's balance sheet. And so it essentially creates a bankruptcy remote issue. So if your broker or your fund manager is not around, your administrator, you have receipts, you have statements that confirms your transactions at every point in time, and you just have to deliver that to the relevant authorities for your assets to be moved to you or to the other broker who you work with. But that was one question I wanted to answer. And again, we work with some of the best banks within the country, FNB, Stanbic, Stanchart, CalBank, GT Bank, are all our custodial accounts. Access are all banks that we work with in safekeeping of our clients' assets. So no assets are held with us directly, they're held with our custodial bank. So with that said, I will hand over to my colleague Selom, and then when he's finished, if there are any further questions, we'll be more than happy to answer those. Thank you.
Hi, thanks a lot, Eric, and thanks everyone for joining. My name is Salom. So we'll be quick about this. What we've done, and at this point, I hope this part helps everyone on the call because we've seen a lot of the complaints that have come in over the period, some of the suggestions, the feedback. What we've done is, and this is before we get into the Q&A session, we've looked at the top 10 most frequently asked questions, and we are hoping that in this session we'll be able to answer them as best as we could. But you still have the opportunity to ask your questions in the group chat. We've seen a lot of them coming up already. So yeah, I'll just get right into it. So the first question that we typically get is about KYC being submitted and their accounts are not being verified. And this is a very important question. So a bit of education. We are required by law to send your information to the NIA, which is the National Identification Authority, the Ghana card people. So we need to verify you as a person. It's just like how you would open a bank account when you go in, you take a picture or you do the four fingers thing. So in our space, that's the requirement. Sometimes your KYCs don't go through because of a couple of reasons. The first one is maybe the picture you took was not clear, was blur, or the background was quite rough, like mine, right? When we send your image to the NIA and they are not able to read the picture, it comes back to us and then we have to let you know. And this seems to be one of the biggest hurdles most of our clients have. So when you are taking the picture with your device, as much as possible, assume you're taking a passport picture of yourself, right? So we need to see your face clearly, and then the background has to be very, very plain, very bright. We should be able to see your face clearly. And that would usually help quicken the process for you because we have to send that information to NIA and their systems will verify that image. Other times, we also notice that the way you type in your Ghana card number, right? So if you look at the screen, we've given some examples here. So if you look at the sample here, what I'm just circling, this is how the Ghana card number looks like, right? So just as it is on the card, if you omit any number or you remove the hyphen or you add a space, the NIA is not able to identify you. So that also sometimes may cause a delay. A few other things, maybe the name that is on your Ghana card may not be the name that you gave to us. That could also be an issue. So these are just the top level things. But all things being equal, even though we try as much as possible to execute or verify your account on time, just try to check these things in case your accounts delay. If you've done all of these and your KYCs are still not being verified, just send us a WhatsApp, send us an email, and as much as possible would assist you. So that's the first question that we typically get, which is one of the pain points for clients. The second one, why are my orders not being executed? I've placed an order for 3 months, for 2 weeks. And again, very, very important question. So when you're buying, for example, stocks, and this is even more, this is more on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Our stock exchange is relatively small compared to the US market, compared to Europe and other exchanges like Hong Kong. So sometimes there may be delays, and that's because if you want to sell your shares, if you want to buy shares, you need to get somebody who is willing to sell, right? So our stock exchange is just like any other market. If you're going to buy something, you must have somebody who wants to sell that stock to you. And sometimes in our space, it could take a while. I'll give you an example. If everybody wants to buy gold, who will sell their gold shares, right? So think about it that way, that if you're looking for gold to buy and everybody's looking for gold or Total or MTN to buy, then it means that there's a lot of demand, right? And there may be little supply. So sometimes that could delay your orders. But we try as much as possible. Sometimes we speak to other partners, not just on the stock exchange. We speak to other fund managers, other trustees who may be willing to buy. We even go as far as speaking to maybe some foreign investors who are looking to sell some of their shares just to be able to put your order on the exchange and then execute for you. So these are some of the reasons why your orders may take a long time to pen. And we can understand because at that time where your order is pending, your cash is lying idle and you probably feel like you should be earning some interest on that. If you're still interested, you can keep the order, but it's in queue. Sometimes people will place the order, then cancel the order, and then replace it. What happens is you keep pushing yourself below the queue. So if it's a stock you really want to buy, just hold on to it. Whenever we have liquidity, we have somebody who's looking to sell on the exchange, we would execute your order for you. I hope this clarifies. If you have more questions on this, a follow-up question, just ask in the group chat, and then we'll do all to answer your question. Then question number 3. My deposit is not reflecting in my portfolio. So on the Blackstar app, we give 3 ways by which you can make a deposit or by which you can fund your account, right? The first one is via mobile money. The second one is via your debit card, which is your Visa or your MasterCard. And the third one is via bank transfer. In all of these 3 modes of payments, we don't charge you, right? Blackstar does not charge any clients for making a deposit. However, the service providers who offer us the opportunity to offer this channel will take a fee. So for example, if you're sending mobile money from your account to another person, MTN or Telecel or AT Money will charge a fee, right? So it's the same thing when you're depositing money into your brokerage account. If you're doing mobile money, there is a fee. If you're doing a Visa card payment, Visa also takes a fee. If you're doing a bank transfer, that depends on whatever bank you use and whatever fee they charge. So in terms of regarding why your deposit may not reflect, when it comes to mobile money, your payments are usually instant. Within a second or two, you should be able to see the money in your brokerage account. However, sometimes there may be delays. That's usually on the telco side. Maybe at that point there's high demand on their system, and there could be a small technical issue. So within 5 minutes, if you don't get your deposits in your account, send us a WhatsApp, send us an email. We'll connect with our partners to try and resolve the issue for you. About a month ago, we saw that happen. MTN had an issue, and it was delaying the time within which you'll be able to see your deposits on the app. Right. So even though you've been debited, it took a while for you to see that. And that was an MTN issue, but it was only for 1 day. So we work with our partners as much as possible to resolve these things. So even though mobile money payments are instant, if you have that issue, you can wait for up to 5 minutes. If it's still not there, just shoot us a WhatsApp or an email, and then we'll look into it. For bank transfers, it's a bit more different, right? So if you go into the app, for those who don't know how to fund their account or do a deposit without bank transfer, you can do that by going into the profile section of the app and then look for bank account details. There we'll give you our custodian bank's account number, and then you'll be able to fund your brokerage account by sending money from your banking app or cash deposit or even a check into that account. Right. Now, what's very important on this is you have to add the reference we give you in the app. That reference is usually made of your client ID and then your portfolio code. What that means is when we see the funds in their account, we'll be able to credit your portfolio as soon as possible. It's fine if you forgot, right? That happens. It's not an issue. So immediately you send funds and you did not add the reference, send us a WhatsApp, send us an email with a screenshot of the receipt. Let us know your client ID, your portfolio code, and then we'll work on that for you. If for any reason you did a bank transfer and the funds are not in your portfolio after, let's say, 3 hours, 2 hours, you can still reach out to us with a receipt, and then we'll investigate the issue for you. So that's it on question number 3. Moving on to number 4, unable to withdraw funds. So ideally speaking, like Eric mentioned, you should be able to withdraw your money 24/7, instantly. Sometimes we may have issues with the telco, again, technical issues, but ideally speaking, you should get your money in a few seconds, most of the time. There are a few reasons why you may not be able to withdraw, which is not technical. For example, you have 1,000 cedis in your account, but you've placed an order to buy 500 cedis of MTN. At that point, your order is pending, but we cannot pay you 1,000 cedis because you've already placed an order for MTN. So you need to check whether you have any pending order, which would warrant the inability for you to withdraw your funds. However, if you check there's no order and yet you cannot withdraw, please just send us a WhatsApp, send us an email. We'll look into it for you. If you've placed an order and you you're no longer interested in doing that investment, a purchase order, because you want the cash, you can just go to your orders page and then cancel your order. Immediately you cancel, the funds will be released, and then your buying power should increase for you to withdraw. So like Eric mentioned, we'll be doing a lot of videos in the coming days to help people, navigate the app, because we can understand that it does take some getting used to. And like Eric said, we are still learning. We are taking feedback, which is why we are doing this call, to understand where your pain points are and see where to prioritize in terms of delivering the best service that we can for our clients. That being said, let's go to question number 5. So some clients have sent us emails and WhatsApp messages that they are not able to log into the app, and when they enter their email and password, they don't get the OTP. Sometimes we looked into this, and sometimes we do send the OTP, but it's in your spam, it's in your junk, because it's the first time we are sending you an email. So you could just check that if you're having that issue with the OTP. But there's one peculiar issue. If those of you who've been with us for at least maybe 4 or 5 months, you'd realize we used to be in the test flight on Apple, and then on Play Store we used to be let's say a beta app, right? And we've been like that for a while because we wanted to take our time to make sure that the app works and it was good enough to bring it out. We did that at the beginning of this year, and in that process, moving from test flight into the App Store caused some issues for some clients because they were still using test flight. So if you're still on test flight and you open the app, you may have this issue: session expired, authorization cancelled. You don't have a problem. Just delete the app, go onto the public store, which is the main app store, and then install the app from there, and you should be good to go. If you still have any issue with this, just send us a WhatsApp or an email, and Sharon will sort you out. Number 6, how to link or open a CSD account on the Blackstar app. I don't know where to start from. All right, so the Blackstar app, very similar to platforms like Robinhood, Trading 212, and these are US platforms or brokerage apps. In the UK, there are platforms like Revolut, there's Sophie, even Bamboo, right? Those of you who buy your US equities on Bamboo, right? Globally speaking, the model that we use on the Blackstar app, which is the primary model, means that we partner with licensed custodian banks in Ghana to hold your assets on your behalf. Now, what that means is that we have met a bank who is licensed to do this. So a custodian bank is a bank who has the license to hold investments on behalf of clients, right? Even though the broker partners with this custodian bank, it does not mean that the broker owns their account, right? So when it comes to Ghana securities, every security, whether stocks, treasury bill in Ghana, is held on the CSD, right? It's held on the CSD. It is not held anywhere else but the CSD. However, with the custodian bank approach, the custodian bank is the one who has oversight of that CSD. And then you find Blackstar being your broker, right? So what this means is once you onboard on a Blackstar app, instantly you can start trading. And that was to solve some of the bottlenecks most clients had, where you had to wait for a while to get your CSD and all of those things. But nonetheless, it does not mean that we don't open CSD accounts for clients. And this is one thing we've observed, because people assume that because of the model on the Blackstar app, we don't open CSD accounts for clients. We do. We open personal CSD accounts for you, and we can make those arrangements for you. Now, there's a process. There's a process you have to go through to be able to have your personal CSD account. So if you insist on getting your CSD account, your personal CSD account, send us an email with a request, and we'll send you a response with the forms and other requirements you need for us to onboard you on the CSD directly. Once this setup has been done, what it means is that all your other investments, like your US stocks, because for the US stocks, you can't have it in your personal CSD. It doesn't even exist in other markets, right? It's only possible in Ghana and I think a few other African markets. So when you get your CSD account opened, and we'll also let you know the time frame. So at that point, we'll let you know whether it takes a day, a few days, a couple of weeks. At that point, we'll give you all the information you need so that you can plan properly. And once that has been done, we will move your assets from from the custodian side. So we'll tell the custodian that client A wants to have his assets in his personal CS. So can you do the move? And so we are working with the CS even on this to automate that process. So it's even faster, right? But this process could take a while because it's currently manual, and that's not our doing. That's what it is. So once we create the CSD account, we will instruct the custodian to move the assets. We'll work with the CSD. We'll send all the documentation to them, and then your assets will be moved into your personal CSD. Once that has been done, what it means is you'll be able to now track all your other investments on the Blackstar app, and then track your Ghana investments directly on your own personally. So for example, if you have your MTN in your personal CSD account, when MTN pays dividend, it comes into your account directly. It doesn't come into the app. So if you want to reinvest, you would have to now deposit the money back. And like I said, the partners you work with will take a fee. So you can do that, but then you would have to track your assets separately. We still are engaging the CSD to find an automated way to do this. And at the point where we do that, we'll be more than happy to bring that out to you so you can you can do that directly. So that's on CSD. Again, if there are follow-up questions, please feel free to ask us in the channels. We'll do our best to answer them. Question number 7, dividend not received. So if you have your assets on the Blackstar app and dividends have been announced, for example, MTN has just announced that they're going to be paying dividend very soon. What this means is that the custodian is also aware, right? So what happens is the custodian's job is to track these things for you. We call them corporate actions. So once the dividend has been announced, the custodian is also aware that dividends have been announced. So the company who is going to pay the dividend will pay the funds into the custodian's account. Now, when the custodian has received the dividend, they will inform the broker, and instantly you will see the dividend in your portfolio. Now, once the dividend is in your portfolio, you can either reinvest or you can withdraw immediately you have it. This process takes between 2 to 5 business days, depending on when we receive the funds from the company and depending on how quickly the custodian processes it. So if dividend has been paid and after 5 days you haven't seen it in the app, please send us a WhatsApp, send us an email, because we will have to pay you within 2 to 5 business days. So that's it on dividend. Moving on to number 8, buy or sell orders getting rejected. So a few times clients have sent us an email or WhatsApp saying that, oh, I wanted to buy a certain stock and my order was rejected. Why was my order rejected? On the app, you would realize that on the menu panel, when you look below, we have different menu items, which we call the navigation panel or the navigation bar. We have markets, we have accounts, we have invest, we have wallet, and then we have profile. When you go to the markets page, every information there is for information purposes only, right? So we will give you some indices, we'll give you the top traded stocks in the US and Ghana, what is happening in the mutual fund space, which mutual funds are doing well, which ones are not doing well. You know, it's just to be able to keep our clients, you know, in tune with what's happening in the market, right? So on the market page, everything there is purely for information purposes. If you want to invest and you want to know what is available to invest in, then you move to the invest page. Now in the invest page, everything there can be bought or sold, right? So those are some of the differences. But again, this is good feedback. So we are looking for ways to make this a bit clear for clients so that you know, you don't have to go and buy something and then we say it's been rejected because it's not available at this time. So that's it on you know, your orders being rejected. Moving to number 9, we are almost there. How do I get my account statement or my portfolio reports? This is actually very, very, very important because, you know, sometimes as investors, we get comfortable with the fact that, oh, when I open the app, I can see all my investments. So, you know, I'm good anytime I open the app. But it's important to have paper, right? It's important to have a document or a record. So for those of you who have noticed, every time you place an order on the app and it's been executed, we send you an email. Right, we send you an email. So in that email, you have what we call your trade confirmation report or your contract note. That confirms evidence that we have executed an order, and that you know, that's for you to have on a record. But that is only for the transaction you have done. What about my statement? most people don't know that they are able to download their statements on the app at any point in time. So like Eric mentioned, we've decided that in the near future, we are going to be sending clients their statements every month. Whether you ask us or not, we will put it to you. We'll give you your statement, right? But at the same time, we encourage you to download your statements regularly, right? You can tell yourself once a month, once every week, just download your statement, put it on your phone, right? So you have a record of it. So to do that, you can go to the profile page, and in the profile, scroll down to My Documents. In My Documents, you'll find investment statements. Over there, you can download a statement for only your portfolio. You can download your statement for just one portfolio or even all your portfolios. You can select a range, 1 year, 3 months, all time. And yeah, you should be able to have your statement. One of the importance, the reasons why this is important is you can use that for a collateral, visa statements, it's a record of whatever you have. So if you want a statement of visa, to process your visa, you can download your statement right from the app and then do that. If you also require a visa statement with a cover head, send us an email. We will take your statement, add a cover letter for your visa application, and then you can do that. Or if you need your investment statement for any other purpose, we will be always available to assist you to confirm your investments with us. The last one, trade confirmation document password not working. So like I said, when you do a transaction and your order has been executed, we send you a contract note or the trade confirmation report. That document is password protected because it's personal information for you. One of the things we realized was in the email, we tell you that this document is password protected and you can open a document with the last 5 digits of your client ID. But we give you an example, but some clients assume that the example we give is the password. No, it's not the password. So it's important to get your client code. You must always know your client code, and you can always get it. You go into the app, go to the profile, and then in the account, the top where your email is, click on that, and you see your client code. So I'll take it again. Go to profile, click on account details, and you should see your password over there. Your client code over there. So once you have your client code, just look at the last 4 digits of your client code, put that in the document, and your contract note or your trade confirmation report will open. If you're still having challenges, Sharon will always be available to assist you. Just send us a WhatsApp, send us an email, and you would get a response. Customer service is 24/7. So even if it's 11 p.m., please you send it to us. If Sharon is asleep, our AI assistant will help you to find a way around the platform. So this is about it for the top 10 frequently asked questions that we've noticed that have come our way. But the purpose of this really is to hear you out. So Ernest will be taken over from here to be able to go through some of the things that have come up. But if you don't have the app now, please just scan the QR code on your screen and you'll be able to install the app. Our WhatsApp numbers is also on the QR code. So those of you saying, how can I reach out to you? I don't have your WhatsApp number. I don't have your email. Just scan the QR code on the screen now. You would have the app. If you don't have it, you can download it. You have our WhatsApp numbers. You have our website, all in the QR code. And we are available to assist you whenever. I know a good number of people here have not completed their KYC process. Please reach out to us. Tell us why your KYC is not going through. Tell us the challenges you're having. We are happy to assist you on board quickly. Once you're onboarded, you should be able to start investing immediately. Thank you. I hope this has been helpful. Ernest, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. For at least bringing some perspective to some of these issues that has been surrounding the app and then also our business activities. Just staying on the app and technical issues, Salom, there are a few questions to that respect. If you can quickly attempt to address some of them. We have questions, especially on the Omnibus account. So people would like to know how they can actually tell their actual dividend that is due them, since everything is kept in an Omnibus account.
Thanks, Ernest. So dividend. So I mean, one of the things that we are going to be doing, and I'm sure you notice that once the just before the MTN dividend is paid, before any other company pays dividend. One of the things that we are going to be doing is to send you emails. We'll send you emails. We'll send you an SMS, and even inside the app, you'll get a notification. So you will know exactly how much to expect. Of course, I mean, once you know the number of shares you have and you know the dividend rate. So for example, if MTN is paying 0.4 cedis or 40 pesos per share, and you have 2,000 shares, you can multiply that by your 2,000 shares to know how much dividend is due you. But of course, it will let you know ahead of time. And when the payment has been made, we'll also notify you via SMS, via email, and also inside the app, you get a notification that you have received your dividend of 2,000 cedis, 10,000 cedis. So that's how you can know. But if you have any discrepancies, please just let us know, which is why I say always download your statement and then keep your trade confirmation report. But ideally speaking, you should be able to have your dividend in the right proportion. If you are not sure of the dividend you've received, let us know. We'll guide you if it's from our side, which I doubt, but if it's from our side, we'll look into it. And you know, the important thing is we try to be available as much as possible to help you resolve whatever issues you have. So Ernest, over to you.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Okay, sure. So there are other questions also surrounding how securities can be transferred from one broker to another, let's say from Blackstar to another broker. And then also just add this one to it. CSD account. Can I use a single CSD account for multiple trading apps or for different brokers?
Okay. So how to transfer your CSD from your assets from one broker to another? Two ways. Now, the first one is if the asset is held in your own your personal CSD, you would write to us and then you would tell us the other broker. Now, when you send us that information, we'll then send that to the CSD, and then they'll do what we call an asset transfer, right? But that means that you should already have registered your CSD with that new broker for us to be able to transfer to your account. Now, you will not be able to do that if you are transferring it maybe from your account to your girlfriend's account or your boyfriend's account. It has to be from your account to your other account with the other broker. That's the first option. Now, the other option is if your assets are held with the custodian bank, the ones that we partner with, then you would write to us again. We would open the CSD for you, move the assets there, and then write to the CSD. So like I said, currently the process is manual, so it may take some time, right? And you know, our market or our industry is evolving, right? There's a lot of automation coming up. So even our regulators are also putting in a lot of work, especially the CSD, to automate some of these things. But currently for this purpose, it's manual. So you write to us, we'll open your personal CSD first, and then we'll send all of that request to CSD to say, clients A says that they want to move their assets, so kindly assist us to move it to the other brokers' access, and then you can trade from there. So that, like I said, that process could take some time, but it's possible. Just let us know, and then we'll walk with you through that process if that's what you need.
Yeah, thank you very much, Salom. It appears a lot of people are quite interested in the app and its technicalities. So there's also another question here. People want to find out if there's a possibility to show the ask and bid sizes of stocks on our app. So the GSE ask sizes and bid sizes, can we introduce a feature on the app just so that those staff can show? Also, people would like to find out how they can withdraw from their realized income. That's an interesting one. And then also, can you highlight on how to withdraw money from the app?
Okay, thanks a lot, Ernest. Being able to see the bid and asks on the exchange directly. So like Eric mentioned when he was talking about our story, where we came from and how we got here, to be honest, initially the goal was to offer a cross-asset platform for purely investment purposes, when I say investment, so there's a difference between investing and trading, right? Trading is more short term, I buy today, I sell in 3 days, that kind of thing. But initially, the goal was to help you have access to US equities, Ghana equities, treasury bills, US treasury bills, Ghana treasury bills, ETFs, commodities. The ETFs that track commodities. And we actually are the only platform in this region that has the level of categories of investments that we call asset classes, right, on our platform in one app. We actually thought people just wanted that, but we have got the feedback for this. So what we are working on currently is a limit order feature. So currently all your orders are what we call market orders. So when we send your order to the exchange, depending on where the market is, where people are offering to sell to you at, it's also called best effort, right? So to the broker's best his ability in terms of what he thinks is a fair price for you to make sure that you are not cheated on the exchange, do execute. But we've also realized that most of our clients are very sophisticated people. They know what they want. They know they want to buy at 2 cedis, 3 cedis. So we are working on that now. It will be out hopefully by the second half of the year. And when that comes, you'll be able to, it will come with this feature, hopefully. So we'll be communicating with you as much as possible. We will push out some feedback documents so that we can also get some of the things that you think would help you trade more effectively, invest more effectively. So I think in the limit orders, this will be possible. Enes, can you help me with the other question? Oh, I think there was a withdrawal question, right? Yeah. So how to withdraw? Now, if you have any investments, let me say you have a treasury bill on the app and you want to withdraw, right? You have to first sell the investment. So you go into the investment you have, click on it, and then you see buy and sell, right? Then you sell. So click on sell, you go through the process, you enter how much you want to sell. Now, when you are selling, the app will ask you whether you want the proceeds to be credited into your bank account, your mobile money account, or into your portfolio, right? So if you select credit my mobile money, it means at the point where the order is executed, it hits your mobile money directly. Sometimes you may want to sell your treasury bill to now go and buy something else, right? So you would say credit my portfolio with the proceeds when you sell. Now, at that point, the funds will be in your portfolio or your wallet page, and then you can reinvest. Whenever you have funds in your wallet page, you can still liquidate. So you just go to the wallet page, and then click on withdraw, right? Once you click on withdraw, you select the portfolio where the cash is in, and then you can do the withdrawal. Again, if this is a bit too much for you, send us a WhatsApp, and our AI assistant will be able to guide you step by step on how to do this.
All right, Salom. So I'll leave you to relax a little bit while I pass on some of the questions to Mr. Pierre and Anna. So clients would like to know when Mr. Pierre went through the legal impetus of Blackstar, I think they didn't see Bank of Ghana. And so they would like to know if we have resolved, quote unquote, our issue with Bank of Ghana. So I would like Nana to just bring some clarity to that particular question.
Thank you, Ernest. I'm Mihai. Thank you. Like they say on the streets, technology. So the simple answer, like I said, is we don't have any issue with Bank of Ghana, but we work in a financial ecosystem and we have multiple regulations. Our primary regulator is the Securities and Exchange Commission, and we have all our licenses. In the past, we have done some business that we were regulated by BOG, and we were also working with BOG, and these are public information. We were an FX broker licensed by Bank of Ghana. We are currently not. We were also a primary dealer and a bond market specialist, but we are currently not. However, we are in the market and we serve our clients in all these things. So for all those services that we used to provide, we still work with our partners to provide these things. So if you are interested in buying a T-bill, or even if you want an FX transaction, all we do is we facilitate to the authorized bodies to take care of such transactions for you. So I can assure you once again that we have no issues with any authority or any regulator. We are in good standing with all our regulators, and we are authorized to do what we do. I hope that answers it. And Ernest, was there any other question related?
No other related question. Just want some clarity on licenses with Bank of Ghana. So I think you've touched on that, and that's okay for our audience. Okay, there are some other questions from the chat box. Okay. How is the situation handled where a client already has an existing CSD number before joining Blackstar? In my case, I already had a CSD number and shared it with your representative. Okay, so if you already have an existing CSD ID, it's not necessary to actually create a new CSD ID for you. What we do in our parlance is called re-registration. So we only register your CSD with Blackstar. Then from there, we can actually buy or execute securities into that CSD ID. Given the growing importance of regional diversification within Africa, I observed that the app does not yet offer access to other African exchanges. So we are going to combine this question with another question that is seeking to find out when we are going to also introduce investment products from other countries apart from the USA. So they are looking at Canada, China, and other strong investment markets in Africa and Europe. So just to touch on the African one before Salom comes in with the rest of the response, there's a project ongoing called African Exchanges Linkage Project. And the plan or the idea is to try and link all the active African stock exchanges together on one platform, such that traders can easily trade among ourselves on the app or on the portal seamlessly as possible. So here to this particular project, what happens is if you want to trade in any African stocks, you would have to find a broker in the African country, establish an agreement with them, onboard each and every side on the trade before a transaction or before instructions would be sent for an execution to be completed. But with the introduction of the AELP or the African Exchanges Linkage Project, it's going to be seamless. And we are proud to announce that Blackstar is one of the few brokers in Ghana that are part of the AELP. So you should watch out for that. It has kickstarted, and so if you're interested in any African stock, especially Kenya, Nigeria, Namibia, Botswana, South Africa, you can just reach out to us and we'll be able to execute. And on the client asking if they can invest in Nigerian stock, yes, we have relationship with brokers in Nigeria. We've already set up our system in Nigeria, so we would be able to buy and sell securities on the Nigerian Stock Exchange for you. And I know people are poised waiting for the Dangote oil to be listed. And so we are also prepared to assist you in taking positions in that as well. I'll let Salom touch on when these markets would reflect on the app for you to easily take position.
Yeah, hi, Anna. So, like Anna said, a lot of work is being done. We are working with the various regulators, the various. Yeah, sorry about that. So we are working with the various regulators, the various tech partners to be able to integrate this. And I guess it's a very good, or it's the right direction, especially with the Ghana Stock Exchange leading this. So what's going to happen is you don't need to be in Nigeria to trade Nigerian stocks. On our side, we're also doing a lot of the foundational work in terms of technology. So once this has been rolled out officially to the market, I'm guessing within the next month or two, you should be able to trade stocks in Nigeria, Kenya, wherever it is possible. You should be able to do that as a Ghanaian right here in Ghana without having to worry about going all the way to do that, right? So we're just waiting for that process to be completed, and on our side, the SLA is just within the next month or two. We should be live with those other countries. However, on the other side, we still are working with other partners to make this possible, even ahead of the stock exchange. So keep tabs. Follow us on our social media platforms, on YouTube, on TikTok. Whenever we have new updates, we also have a WhatsApp channel. We will keep you posted on any new features that come up. And to be honest, we do have a lot of new things coming up in the next quarter or two. So just stay tuned.
All right, thank you very much. Turning our attention to some of the questions in the Teams chat. The app displays indices. However, I can't buy them. Why is that so? When should we look forward to being able to buy? Solomon, would you take that?
Yeah, so the index, right? And this can be found on our website. It can be found on the market page. Now, what the index does is it gives you a sense of what is happening. So, for example, if you saw an index called the Ghana Equity Total Return Index, where the symbol is GHETR, or you saw a Treasury Index, what the index does is it just tells you what is happening in that space, right? So the Ghana Stock Exchange Index is saying that, on average, Ghana stocks have done 50% this year, 20% this year, meaning that if you held all of the stocks in a certain capacity, this is what you would have done, right? It's for education, it's for information purposes. Now, to be able to get access to the index, we have what we call an exchange traded fund or a mutual fund, or in fact, generally a collective investment scheme. Right now, these schemes or these products, and we know them as mutual funds or ETFs, they are the ones that track indices, which is the plural for index, right? So you won't be able to buy an index, unfortunately, but you can buy a mutual fund or an ETF that tracks the index. So in Ghana, we have a few funds that track the Ghana Stock Exchange, right? And if you check on our website, you'll be able to see some of those funds, and then you can, we don't offer all of them on the app. We offer a few mutual funds that are even not managed by us on our app, but not all of them. So if it is not on the invest page, you can reach out to the fund manager directly, and then they will be able to support you. But currently in Ghana, we don't have an ETF that tracks the Ghana Stock Index. Hopefully we get one soon as the market is growing.
Okay. Others would also like to find out if we have any commission arrangements for people who refer clients to us.
And let me take that.
Please proceed.
Okay, so the question on whether we have commission sharing arrangement, yes, we currently have on corporate level, but because we are seeing the traction and the level of interest, this is something that in future we are going to, and the future I mean here is very soon, for repeat business and repeat trades, we are going to throw in some benefits for you in reduced fees and also referral notes. So please brace up. Your efforts and your contribution will be rewarded very soon through the app.
All right, thank you, Nana. Salam, more questions to you. Eric, Esiedu Aklofi would like to know and understand why the functionality available on the Black Star Group app is not fully replicated on the web platform. Basically, he wants us to bring all the app functionality to the web as well.
Yeah, so good question, by the way. We do have a web version, which is honestly more complex. It's more detailed. It goes deeper than the mobile app. It's typically being used by other fund managers in our industry. So, like Eric said, we partner with everybody. We don't see ourselves to have competitors. We rather see ourselves as collaborators. So, we have a web version and it's available. It's just not, very popular among our individual investors. However, if you feel that you are sophisticated enough and you can understand, some of the things that you need more information, you need more insights, just send us an email, and then we'll give you access to the portal. But that being said, we are doing a revamp of that portal. So maybe within the next month, we will start sharing it again. Currently, only the existing users have it. Once the revamp is done, we'll open it up again. So if you are a complex or sophisticated investor who wants, you like all the candlesticks and things, yeah, we can give you access at that point. So give us a month and then reach out to us.
Thank you, Salom. Follow-up question from a question from me, a follow-up to not canceling buy orders. If the price per share changes from when I made a buy order to a new price per share, probably increased, is it advisable I cancel and place a buy order again? Another from Nathan also wants to know what fractional shares means. So we can answer that.
So I'll take the fractional shares first. So when you have one share, right, and if you look at the icon on the app, it looks like a pizza, right, and then there's a slice being taken out. What that means is that the whole pizza is seen as one share. When you buy a fraction, it means that you're buying a piece of it. So, for example, if MTN is trading at 6 cedis, for example, and your money is 3 cedis, right, you still can't buy fractional shares. It means that you can still invest in MTN with your 3 Ghana cedis because you are buying a piece of MTN. Let's say you want to buy Tesla shares or you want to buy Apple shares, Microsoft, right? The prices are quite high. Maybe your money is $5, 50 cedis, 100 cedis, right? You will still be able to buy that once you see that icon and it's in the invest page, right? So that means that you can take a piece of the company. With cancellation of orders, if you need the stock, right, it's an investment that you think makes sense for your investment goal. I wouldn't encourage you to cancel the order, even if the price has gone up. Currently, all the orders on the Blackstar app are what we call market orders. So I place an order today to buy a certain stock, and the price is, let's say, 10 cedis. Right now, when you see the price in the app, that is the previous closing price. It is not the price at which you will get it at, right? So we are giving a sense of this is where it closed at the day before. So this is a sense of what you could get if the price does not change. However, if we go onto the exchange and the price changes, or when the price at which it's being offered is higher, we will execute your order at that price because your order is a market order until we bring in limit orders where you can tell us that I want it at 2 cedis. So if it is not 2 cedis, don't buy. Right, that's being rolled out in the coming months. So I would advise you to cancel your order if you need that stock in your portfolio, because what it means is it takes you down the queue, right? So maybe you are next in line, but you canceled it, and then there are 500 orders or 2,000 orders. It means you are going to number 2001. So if you need that stock and you want it in your portfolio, just keep the order pending.
Okay, someone is asking what the timelines are for the African Exchanges Linkages project. So it's actually live. Most of the brokers who are part of this particular project already have their login credentials, and so it's actually live. Yeah. When I want to delete a portfolio, I first need to send an email to facilitate the deletion from the back end. Can you enable the features that allow self-deletion of portfolio? Also, are you looking at integrating an API that shows live updates on the market instead of showing at end of day? And finally, would you be integrating a view of the share trading volumes as seen on another app's dashboard? So first has to do with self-deletion.
Okay, so with the self-deletion, we had that feature. For those of us who have been with us for a while, we did have that in the early years. What we learned was clients were mistakenly deleting their portfolios, so we temporarily turned it off. But we have got the feedback to bring that feature back into the app now. So timeline for that is Q2. So hopefully by June we'll bring that feature back. We are improving the process around it so that people don't get confused. So we are making some changes, right, to the flow to make it easier for people to find their way around the app. So the deletion will come back. Many apologies for having to reach out to us before your portfolio gets deleted. At the time, we thought that people didn't want that feature because they mistakenly deleted it. For example, a client may want to edit the name of the portfolio and went to click on delete. So we took it down, but we'll bring it back because we realized that clients are learning and people are not like comfortable using the app. Then with live prices on the Ghana Stock Exchange. So you do notice that for the foreign stocks, right, the prices are live. Once you refresh it, you get the latest price. But for the Ghana Stock Exchange, it's not live. We will bring it soon. We are working with the various partners for that. Again, we didn't do that because typically in Ghana, and even in our space, in the institutional space, we value our assets at the end of the day, especially the Ghana ones, right? So we brought that same mentality into the app. But again, we've got the feedback that people would like to see the live trading prices on the Ghana Stock Exchange. No matter how slow, they want to see it. So we are going to do that. Again, hopefully by Q2, you should see the live trading prices. We also come up with a portal on our website for you to be even able to see the markets, so that you can see that, okay, this is what is happening, the debates in the office, that question that came up. So all of that work is being done. One of the things that I think I'd like to take the opportunity to address is, clients will say, oh, I have MTN on this app and I have it on the other app, but the price on the Blackstar app is different from other apps. So what we use on the Blackstar app is called the volume weighted average price, for short VWAP, volume weighted average price. What it means is that that's the price you see is the final closing price for the security after the exchange closes. So the exchange gives us that data when they close that. Today, MTN closed at 5.9 or 6.1, right? Now, other brokers may use a different methodology. Now, what we use is the same methodology that other institutions use, like fund managers, pension funds. But, the data, any broker could use any price they want to show. You just have to understand what their model is, right? So some may use the last traded price. So what it means is that if there were 100 trades for MTN in one day, showing you the last traded price is showing you that, okay, the 100th trade before 3 p.m. was 6 cedis. But when you put all the trades together, the volume weighted average price was 5.9, right? So sometimes that's where you may have the differences. So it's good to ask. So this is a very good question. It's good to ask why there are differences in prices, because one may be showing the last traded price, one may be showing the volume weighted average price, which is a closing price. So on the Blackstar app, we show you the closing price of the stock for the day, right? And hopefully when we do the live prices intraday, which is within the trading hours too, you can see how it moves up and down.
Okay, thank you, Salom. We have some questions also on account creation and verification. So I've just logged them into that category. I'll read them to you, then you address it. First has to do with verification code. Can I change my verification code from email to my phone number? The second has to do with a Nigerian who doesn't own a Ghana card and still wants to complete our KYC. Also, there's a portion in the registration process that involves filling a bank account number. How safe is that? And finally, some banks or branches of some of the banks are not listed in the app, making it difficult to complete the setup. The person goes on to mention a bank's name and its branch.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot for sorry about that. Thanks a lot for the question. And this is actually one of the common questions that I actually forgot to talk about. When you're doing the Ghana card verification, even if you are Nigerian and you have a Ghana card, it should work, right? If you are a foreign person who has a Ghana card, it should work. So if you have that issue, please let us know. We'll look into it, where you enter your Ghana card number and it says because you are Nigerian, it's not. That shouldn't be the case. Ideally, we've onboarded a good number of foreign investors who are here in Ghana who have the Ghana card. If you are a foreign person and you don't have a Ghana card, unfortunately, the laws from our regulator require the Ghana card. So in that case, it may be difficult, but you can write to us. We'll escalate this to compliance, and then they will do their own due diligence, and then they will let us know if we can proceed or not. Our industry is extremely regulated, so sometimes we cannot, just open up. We have to follow what is in the book. In terms of bank accounts and their branches, the branch names, it's very simple. If your branch name is not on the app, use the head office. So let's say your bank is Bank A and your branch is Konongo branch, but you don't find Konongo, you can use the head office. So that's a fallback that we have, and it will work fine. You shouldn't have an issue. When we verify, we'll get the data. So if you're not getting your branch in the app on the KYC, please put in head office, and you should be able to go through the process. Okay.
Yeah, so what if I'm a Ghanaian and I don't own a Ghana card?
So if you're Ghanaian and you don't own a Ghana card, two things. If you are Ghanaian and you are not based in Ghana, or you're not resident in Ghana, we can understand. So we work with compliance on these things because the law or the directive from the SEC is very clear that the Ghana card is a sole identification. But there are nuances. So what we will do is reach out to us. Let us know that I'm Ghanaian. I don't live in Ghana, so I wasn't around during the Ghana card process. So can you help me out? We will escalate that to compliance, and usually within an hour or two, we will let you know what we require. Sometimes a passport or resident permit to show that indeed you are not here. So depending on the use case, just let us know. We are look, this platform is for Ghanaians. Ghanaians are the main target. So let us know why you don't have the Ghana card, and then compliance will advise us. The difficult part is if you are Ghanaian and you're a resident here and you don't have a Ghana card. As for that one, unfortunately, we will not be able to onboard you. So just hop to the NIA's office, get your Ghana card, and then let's do some investing. Okay. Charles, I can hear you.
All right, so more questions coming your way. So this one would like to know, why is there a fee for using Visa and MasterCards in Ghana when outside are not charged?
So why is there a fee for using Visa and MasterCard? Like I said earlier, we are not the ones who charge you. Blackstar never charges any client for depositing money into their brokerage account. However, the various service providers have a fee. Of course, that is their primary source of income. But for Visa is not a local company, right? The Visa and the MasterCard guys, they have their charges. We don't know why, and I cannot also confirm that they don't charge if it's in other markets, but they charge for using their cards here on Ghanaian soil, and we don't really have much control over that. It's just like when you go online to buy something on these other e-commerce platforms, right? Your bank will charge you, right? It's the e-commerce platform will not charge you for buying on their platform. You are bringing them business, but your bank will say Visa charge for ABC. That's a Visa charge that we don't have much control on. We wish it could have been free, but unfortunately we can't control that. So we usually encourage you to use the bank transfer option. If the visa is too expensive, just do a bank transfer. It may not be instant, but you should get it within a few hours, especially when your sum is high, 100,000 CDs, 1 million CDs, 50,000 CDs. You can just do the bank transfer option. And once you send the funds in and the bank confirms, the custodian bank confirms, you will see the money in your portfolio.
Yeah, there was also a question of some branches not showing in our bank accounts. Can you quickly touch on that? So for those ones, you can go ahead and use head office. Okay, there's also a question on dividends. When dividends are paid, both local and foreign, I understand from your inquiry from your service, your client service, are paid back into our portfolios, but we don't receive any text message to that effect that the dividend amount has been credited to us. You end up not even realizing it in time. Can you address that?
Yeah, thanks for this. And this is honest, genuine feedback. We have worked on that. So this year, when the first dividend is paid, you will receive a notification. You will receive an email, you will receive an SMS, so that you know that you are receiving some income in your portfolio. So we have addressed that, and once we start to pay out dividends to investors on the platform, they will be notified ahead of time. And when it's been paid, they will also be notified that it's been paid, so they can check it in their portfolios. So thank you for that feedback. We've worked on that, and we are happy to get your feedback once that process begins.
All right, Caleb. You can go ahead with your question. You have your hand up. Your mic has been enabled. Hello, Caleb, can you hear me?
Please, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Please, about the regional stocks, I wanted to know that if that one is possible, who should I contact to purchase some aside Ghana? Maybe I'm interested in Nigeria, Uganda, and stuff. Who should I contact to purchase?
All right, Caleb, you can always reach out to our client services team, client services at blackstargroup.ai, or reach out to us on both contacts, our landline and then also our mobile number. We will be able to assist you. You can also reach out to us on WhatsApp and we'll be able to assist you. You can go ahead and scan the QR code showing on the screens now, and you would get all our contact details as well.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay. Manuel, we will take one more question. Manuel, go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Manuel, go ahead.
Yes, good evening and thank you so much for the opportunity. I was on the issue of owning your own CSD. I think I've had some back and forth with your team some time ago because I sent an email claiming I really want to have my own CSD account, and I was told that is not done. I have also sent an email again just today when I heard you saying it's something that can be done. What is the probability that this is going to go through this time around? And then also, sorry if I wasn't listening about the charges when you are trying to invest or you are trying to do some withdrawals. Is it something that can be looked at in terms of having a cap where when you are doing some massive withdrawals or some massive investments? Is something that can be looked at? So these are the two questions. Thank you.
All All right, so Manuel, with regards to the CSD account, yes, we can actually create a CSD account for you. It's good you've reached out to us. Once you've sent the email, we'll pick it up and then engage you so that we can have you complete the form, and we'll go ahead to create the CSD account for you. I'm sure you already have the app, so we have your KYC details, and so we don't have to do another onboarding. All you have to do is to complete the form, and then we'll pick your Ghana card from the app KYC and go ahead and create the CSD ID for you. With regards to charges on withdrawals, there are no charges on withdrawals. And when you are loading cash onto the app, we are not the ones charging. It's just like you trying to transfer money from your MTN Momo to another. It comes with charges. So this is a charge that is coming from the payment provider. Payment systems charge in order to provide you with that payment portal for you to use on your app or any portal that takes money. So we don't charge you when you're withdrawing, neither do we charge you when you're loading cash. Okay. Yeah, so we have a question now. Momo payments automated now. Salom.
Yes, so we have a feature called the recurring payments plan. I think most clients know it as auto deposit, right? So for example, and ours is actually very unique, and we encourage you to try it out. We'll probably push out a video on how to do it later. The recurring payment plan, or RPP, is a feature that allows you to automate your investments. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you want to put money aside for your retirement. You're retiring in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And you want to buy, a combination of investments. So maybe you want to buy MTN, you want to buy GCB, you want to buy Apple shares, you want to buy Google shares. And you know that every month you want to buy all these shares based on your investable income. But you don't want to be buying them one by one every month, right? It's a bit of work every month. You have to, it even discourages you to be consistent. In the recurring payment plan, or what we call the RPP, right? For short, it's called RPP. You can tell the app that I want to invest 1,000 cedis each month for 10 years, or 2,000 cedis each month for 5 years. And this 1,000 cedis, I want to put 200 in MTN, 500 in GCB, 300 in Apple shares. Now, what that means is that every month you'll be debited once 1,000 cedis, and the app will create the multiple orders for you without having to do them one by one, right? So this helps you become consistent with your investment plan once you know the things you want to invest in. So I'll encourage you to try it. If you have a plan, you want to invest for 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, every day for 2 weeks, you want to be able to automate that so that you don't have to do them manually. Go to the accounts page on the menu panel below, where you see the list of your portfolios. Now in there's a button, it's like a 3-dot button, vertical 3-dot. That's where you go to create a new portfolio. Click on that 3 dots. You'll see something called Manage RPPs, a button called Manage RPPs. Over there, you can add a new plan, and then the app will ask you, how much do you want to do? Is it monthly, daily, weekly? And then which investment? So you don't even, it's not limited to only one product. You can do as many in just one plan. You'll be debited one time, but then your orders will be placed multiple. So this is working now for mobile money. We are going to be introducing it for card payments in the coming weeks. Hopefully by the end of or the middle of next month, you should be able to use card payments for this as well.
Thank you very much. So we will take the last round of questions and then we can call it a night. So we have a question from Jefta. I noticed MTN sent emails to people who have bought their shares on other brokerage companies, but those of us with Blackstar didn't receive any. Okay, Jefta, so on this particular one, we actually send out information out there. Usually when some of these communique comes out, either from the company or even from the Ghana Stock Exchange, we further transfer it or forward it to all underlying clients. So if you didn't receive one, it might be a technical hitch. We will look at it and then have that rectified. Also, is there an arrangement in order for someone to transfer their shares to another broker? Yes, Jefta, you can always transfer shares from one broker to another. However, it has to be from, let's say, Jefta of Blackstar to Jefta of ABC Brokerage. So the beneficiary should be the same. So you would have to check that as well. And then I'll leave the last two to Selom. So how can one combine their portfolios in the Blackstar app? And then also the Blackstar WhatsApp contact is not responsive. Okay, that's a good feedback. We'll take a look at it. But how can one combine their portfolios in the app? Selom.
Yeah, so this is possible. I think what we've done is we've been able to allow you to, on your own, transfer cash from one portfolio to another, and we call that internal transfers. We're currently working on you being able to actually transfer assets as well from one portfolio to another on your own in the app. But however, because that is not automated currently, we are taking instructions from clients. So just send us a WhatsApp or an email and tell us that I have 500,000 cedis of MTN in my retirement portfolio, and I want to transfer it to my child's portfolio. So kindly move it to this from this portfolio and that. So when you're doing that, let us know your client code, and then the portfolio you're sending the security from, and the portfolio you want to send it to. Within an hour or two, we should be able to solve this for you. Sometimes it takes a few minutes, but hopefully in the coming months, we'll be able to put the feature in the app where you can do it on your own.
The questions seem to be a lot. They keep coming. So why is it that dividend receivables are not credited as buying power whenever I requested for it? So Salom will handle that. But the second part of the question, also, how are taxes charged on dividends? Because there are deductions on dividend without a reason. Yes, so dividends have a tax of 8%. So you get to know the number of shares you have. You multiply it by the dividend per share as announced by the company. The figure you get, you need to subtract 8% from it. That 8% is taken by the government of Ghana. Solomon would handle the part where you want to know why dividend receivables are not credited as buying power on the app.
So the issue of receivables, payables, and maybe I'll try to explain that part before I move on. So when you see a receivable in the app, what it means is that a receivable is part of your asset, right? So it means that you are yet to receive something. It could be a security, maybe a trade we did for you that is yet to hit your account. It could be dividend. So for example, when MTN announced dividend on the date of payment, right? If the bank has not completed processing, or maybe the company who is the issuer has not completed the transfer, because the announcement date was on X date, a certain date, you have a receivable. It means that you are owed, right? Maybe MTN owes you or the bank owes you a certain amount. So you see that as a receivable. Now, if it's a receivable, it doesn't mean that you can withdraw it. It is yet to be received, right? So at the point where the bank processes the dividends and notifies the broker, at that point, then you see that the receivable goes away, and then now that number you saw in the receivable is now cash, right? So you've now received the dividend that was in your receivables section of the app. We do that because if you were listening to Eric, we are very hard on transparency, right? So we want people to know what's coming at every point in time. We want people to know what's going at every point in time, which is why on our app you see payables, receivables. So payables means that you've done a transaction, we have actually given you the security, but you are yet to pay for it, right? So it means that we have to lock the funds because we've already given you the asset. Receivable is the vice versa. So you cannot withdraw receivable because you are yet to get it. But at a point where it's paid, you'll see that receivable is gone off, and then that equivalent amount is in your portfolio as cash, and you can withdraw or reinvest.
Please, do I need foreign account before I can invest in global assets? The answer is very simple. No, you don't need a foreign account before you can invest in the global assets on the app. Jephthah, you have your hand up. I think you would be the last person, right, that we can bring tonight's session to an end.
Okay, bye-bye.
So we've allowed your mic.
Okay.
Kindly ask your question. Caleb, I'm sure
Okay,
your
thank you
hand
for the
is from the
opportunity.
previous one, right? So Jephthah, you have the floor.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. So, Salom was talking about the portfolios, and he asked that I should send them emails. It's something that I've already done, but no response from the Blackstar team. I tried through the WhatsApp channel, and they weren't responsive as well. So, if you could kindly check on that for me. That's combining the portfolios in the Blackstar app. Thank you very much.
All right, Jephthah, we will look at it and then assist you on that. Thank you very much for drawing our attention. Okay. Kofi, my producer says I can give the last bite to you. So we will allow your mic, then you can go ahead with your question. Yeah, Kofi, proceed.
Hello. Thank you very much for the opportunity and good evening to you all. Please, I've heard you saying that you can transfer your portfolio from one app to the another app. I want to know, is it by using the same app or one app to send a mail to your end before that can be done? Thank you.
Okay, Kofi, so what he meant was within the app, you can transfer from one portfolio to another. What I was referring to had to do with securities transfer from one depository participant or from one broker to another broker. Assuming you have a CSD account with ABC Brokerage, then you get Blackstar Brokerage to register that same CSD account also in your name. So it's Kofi Taylor of ABC Brokerage and then Kofi Taylor of Blackstar Brokerage. So with that same underlying beneficiary, you can easily transfer the securities from one broker to the other. It's just a form you need to complete, and then the two brokers will sort themselves out. Yes. I hope this helps. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I think it's been very, very engaging. It's been very, very interactive. We actually got inundated by your questions, and that was the main purpose for hosting this particular event. This is just one of a series of events we'll be having regularly. And then also you can follow all our social media channels, YouTube, Blackstar Group. We have a WhatsApp channel as well, Blackstar Group, you can follow. We are on TikTok, we are on Snapchat, we are on Instagram, Facebook, and then also X. You can follow all our social media handles. We post a lot of information out there. Also, every third Tuesday of the month, we host what we call Market Color. We update investors on happenings on the market and then also any emerging trend within the investment landscape. You can get a few nuggets from there in order to guide you in your decision making. We also open the floor for you to ask any question with regards to what we present or any other thing related to investments. We sincerely thank you. We thank everyone for your time. We thank you for your contribution. Your questions, your feedback, and all the suggestions are extremely important to us because this helps us continue to improve the Blackstar platform and then also the solutions we provide for you. Be rest assured that This session is going to be on our YouTube page. You can always revisit it to also watch it one more time and then also grasp anything you probably might have missed. If you have any queries, you can always write to our client services at blackstargroup.ai or reach out to us on phone. We will continue sharing educational content, product updates, and then also more opportunities for engagement with you since you've become part of our community. On behalf of Black Star Group, our CEO, Mr. Appiah, and then Salom, I want to sincerely thank you very much for your time. I know it's 11 minutes past 8. The boys are getting ready to go and watch their football. So I'll leave the floor open to Naneji now, the CEO of Black Star Brokerage, to share with us some parting words.
Thank you, Ernest. And I think we can't thank our clients enough. We are happy to have you here. And like Ernest said, this will not be the first and last of it. There'll be many to come. The other assurance we can give is the questions here. We are going to process all of them and use it to improve our systems. So we can give you that assurance. I think along the program, somebody asked about the next big thing. There's been a lot of engagements with all our key partners. And at least one thing that I can assure you is that by end of this first quarter, by end of June, you'll see a lot of improvements in the apps, which include you having your live creation of your CSD account if that's a problem. The others will be the very few bucks that you get for those that will be holding custody for the little challenges that you have. They'll all be resolved. And the other thing will be the live feed. That's also one thing that we are working on, and very soon you'll be having them. Keep giving us the feedback and keep working with us. We appreciate it greatly and don't take it for granted. So God bless us all. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Nana. The team will also continue addressing some of the issues or questions that you've put on the YouTube page as well as in the Teams page. So be rest assured, all questions will be answered tonight. Thank you very much for your time. I still believe the English teams are going to win tonight. Enjoy your night and bye-bye.